Alright, so first one, we've got the Bossa Nova. So today, like I said last week, all rhythms will be Brazilian rhythms. We'll do the Bossa Nova, we'll do the Samba, and we'll do the Partido Alto. Okay? 3 different Brazilian rhythms. Bossa Nova and Samba, fairly similar. Partido Alto is sort of like a weird, not weird, but it's a shift. Like it doesn't really sound alike the other two. Okay, so what you see there on the screen is the Bossa Nova. Okay, so we've got a couple of things that we ought to pay attention, right? For instance, let's look for the patterns that repeat themselves quite regularly, and then we'll deal with the stuff that is not so regular. So what do you see there that is obviously a repetitive pattern? An ostinato even, you could say, right?
So ostinato is the things you play with your feet. So
No. Ostinato simply means a rhythm that you repeat without changing it.
Ah, I see. Yes, the beats 2, 3, and 4 are an ostinato.
2, 3, and 4. 2, 3, and 4?
Yeah.
What do you mean by 2, 3, and 4? Because these are 2 bars, right?
Ah, sorry. The second bar of beat 1 and
that?
ah, right, no, that's the second bar, isn't it?
So how are you counting that? Just out of curiosity, because
Well, it's 8 notes, isn't it? So, okay, yeah, sorry, yeah, I should look at that. So 3 and 4 and on bar 1.
3 and 4 and this?
Yeah,
Okay.
is the same as the second bar.
Bar 1 and 2.
Yeah.
It is, but that seems
Is that
to
not
me
it?
That I wouldn't call that an ostinato,
Okay.
because it immediately changes afterwards. So it's not an ostinato anymore.
Right.
An ostinato is a rhythm that never changes.
Never changes. Right.
That's just a coincidence.
Right. I'll say the bass drum pattern and
Now we're talking.
that's why I was initially going for the feet stick. I'm thinking the bass drum pattern is solid right the way across. Yeah, whereas
But so is the right hand.
it is. That's what kind of a little bit. The kind of a couple of things going on that the ride and is matched as well. But yeah, I can see that now.
No, but the right hand is an ostinato.
Right. So an ostinato is just anything that like a.
It never changes.
So it doesn't. So that's another thing. You see, I mistakenly took ostinato as only with the feet.
Yeah.
It's an ostinato is a rhythm that doesn't. So like a loop is an ostinato.
It's the fancy word for loop.
Right. Just.
Exactly.
It's just I want to hammer the exact terminology as well. So
Okay.
you know what I mean.
So that's what the word means then. So we've got an ostinato there between the right hand and the just make sure it's still recording. The right hand and the right foot. That's an ostinato. So the right hand is playing 8th notes, and the bass drum is playing what? What's the bass drum playing?
16th.
Straight 16th notes?
No, no, 'cause you've got a dotted quarter note.
What's the name of that pattern that the bass drum is playing? It's got a name. We've learned that before.
Samba?
Nope. It's the Samba. Okay. Bass drum on the 1, bass drum on the end of 2. That's the pattern. And that's the ostinato. And just loops that. Okay? Bass drum on the 1, bass drum on the end of 2. Correct? Because then you have, okay, bass drum on the 3 and bass drum on the end of 4, but it's the same pattern. Right?
Yeah.
Okay? Right, so let's do that. Let's just play the right hand and the right foot. Okay? So we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Keep going. All the bass from now. And 2 and 3 and 4 and okay? And that's a fundamental part of the Bossa Nova and also of the Samba, okay? That pattern, that bass drum pattern, is like the clave of Brazilian music, okay? So it's really, really important to, as quickly as possible and as properly as possible as well, to embed that into your playing when you want to play Brazilian stuff. In all fairness, if you get that going, and automatically, almost anything that you play on top of that will sound Brazilian. Because that's such a fundamental aspect of it that if that's there, your sound. You can just improvise whatever you want at the top. It's pretty cool, right? Gives you a very solid foundation for what the genre needs to sound authentic. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna. Okay, we'll do that a little bit with the metronome now to get us comfortable with it. So, but that's it. That's the part. All right. So this is 65 BPM. 1 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 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 2 and 3 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. It's always the same sound, right? Boom, 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 boom. Pom pom, pom pom, pom pom, pom pom, pom pom. All right.
I've just noticed something else as well.
Go on.
You've got in between the bass, in between the bass drum pattern, you've got two hi-hats per measure.
Yes.
I just mean in terms of spacing. That's all.
Yes, you
Just
do
in
have.
terms of how it's just when you play it. So
I would just be careful with that though, because when you add the left hands, that might cause confusion because immediately those spaces will be gone. I would. I would rather see that as a straight eighth note pattern.
Yeah.
And that as a dong, 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 dong.
Yeah.
Like just following that double, like the two eighth notes in a row.
It's just a sort of I'm starting to hear the rhythms now.
Yeah.
I'm starting to sort of get the spacing from when you were playing that to start to top count and trying to hear the.
Just hear the pattern.
There's two hi-hat notes between the sort of as you play.
Again, the issue with that logic, and that's why I'm kind of is that as soon as you bring the snare into it, that's just not going to be useful anymore. Let's have a listen to Bossa Nova. Okay. So I would like to show you a song, because it is important that we understand, for example, the difference between a Bossa Nova and Samba. Okay, and fundamentally there are a bunch of different differences, but if you look to them on paper, you would be like, it looks the same to me on paper. Stylistically, when you listen to actual music, completely different. Okay. Right? So let's have a listen to Bossa Nova.
Pra fazer feliz a quem se ama, muita calma pra pensar e ter tempo pra sonhar. Da janela vê-se o corcovado redentor, que lindo. Quero a vida sempre assim, com você perto de mim, até o apagar da velha chama. E eu que era triste, descrente desse mundo, ao encontrar você eu conheci. Salve a Bahia, senhor. Mas a gente gosta quando uma baiana samba direitinho, de cima embaixo, revira os olhinhos, dizendo eu sou filha de São Salvador. Mas a gente gosta quando uma baiana samba direitinho, de cima embaixo, revira os olhinhos, dizendo eu sou filha de São Salvador. Da padaia da padaia da padaia da baiana. Da padaia da padaia da
that's the vibe, that's the atmosphere that we are to then, you know, convey as well. Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It sounds laid back, but that's because of
It makes all sense. Now I want to show you the samba. This is more samba. So it's very different from Bossa Nova, right? Very different. So that's the Bossa Nova, that's the Samba. They share the same rhythmic foundation, but then of course the final, the package is quite different, right? All right. So back to the playing. Bossa Nova. We've got the right hand, we've got the right foot going. We get the pattern. Let's start adding snare drums, okay? All those notes, they are circled because they are supposed to be cross stick. Okay. Cool. You might need to raise your pen a little bit. You're gonna end up slouching. But yeah. So we've got the very first note, very first snare drum at beat 1. Okay. Right. Don't worry about the other ones. One at a time. Let's get the bass drum going though. Pom pom, pom pom, pom pom, pom pa, and 3, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, 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 and 1, and 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. And 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4, and 1. Okay? Try that a little bit slower, maybe. But let's just get that first snare. Okay, it's okay. Let's add the next snare drum. So when does the next snare drum appear? That's the one.
I'm going like, what?
Okay, end of 2. So we've got snare so far at 1, and the end of 2.
This might be adjusted, and this might be a little bit in my head.
Okay, and then we continue with the other bass drum. So we've got 1 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So we are mismatched.
Yeah.
Because I was there and you were there.
Right, yeah.
If you stop playing and I keep going, you gotta take into account that I kept going.
Yeah.
So 1 and 2 and 3 and go, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
You can see that the thing about these Brazilian rhythms is that they are syncopated, man. They're always, the notes are always moving all over the place. And this is just, by the way, it's just a, how do I put it? It's a template,
Yeah.
right? This is not supposed to be like, this is the Bossa Nova groove, nothing
Yeah,
else
it's
is
like
possible.
solid. This
It's
is
a
just
template.
right.
Right? It's an example, if even, right?
Okay.
So, if let's get rid of the bass drums and let's learn the hands part. Okay, so you've got 8th notes on the right hand. You got that. Let's learn the left hand. This time without the bass drum being in the way.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so let's break down all the snare drum hits.
Yeah.
We have a snare drum hit at
On
1.
1, the out of 1.
Not
the-
no.
Oh, sorry. There's my terminology again. Snare drum on beat 1, the and of 2, on 2, on. That can't go. Sorry, not.
Go on. Try again.
1, the and of 2, the 4.
4.
Don't know why I said you. The beat 2 and the and of 3.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
So as you can tell, it's left-hand pattern. Even it's not very busy. It's 5 notes long,
Yeah.
but
But it's the placement in it.
It keeps on
'cause it's
changing,
not-
right?
Yeah.
so I'll show you what it sounds like, and then it gives us also another source of information, if you will. So you've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and okay, a little bit faster. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. A little bit faster. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 up pop 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 up pop 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 pop. Okay. Let's learn the left hand part. Actually, let me just check the time here. We ought to move on. But because I want to show you the other ones as well. I will send you this, obviously. But so far, before we move on, because I want to show you the samba now. Then. Any questions? Yeah? Sure. So here's what I would like to do. I'm going to grab my headphones. So listen to the bass drum, right? It's always the same pattern. Pom pom, pom pom, pom. Now the snare. Bossa Nova. Right, moving on. Samba. Bring it up here. Okay, here's the samba. As you can tell, oddly similar, right?
The bass drum part is
is
It's the same.
it's the same.
Ah. Yeah, that's quite sneaky. 'Cause you've got accents as well.
Don't worry about the accents.
Yeah.
I've noticed that you try to work out dynamics before you work out coordination. That's a bad plan.
Yeah.
I've noticed that you do that quite a lot. Like you go like, oops, there's accents, and then you freeze there.
Okay.
Don't worry about the accents.
Right.
Plus, there are those accents, and they're not all that relevant anyway.
Right.
If I'm going to be completely honest.
That's another trait that I do.
I've noticed that
Yeah.
in past workshops. Like whenever you see accents, it seems to freeze your everything.
Yeah,
Like
probably.
accents
Yeah, instead of
learning the limbs first. Meaning what your limbs are supposed to be playing.
yeah, if limbs don't know.
And then you can
accents
you
are
can
irrelevant
work out
now.
the sound and whatnot. Because accents is sound.
Yeah,
It's not what you play, it's how you play it. But first you need to work out what you play.
yeah.
Okay, so as you said, and well, the bass drum is the same, the hi-hat is the same, left hand is different.
Mm.
But more important than that, the samba is faster.
Yeah.
It's more important. Once again, with the right flow and the right texture and the right everything, what you do with your left hand can literally be improvised. It's going to sound like a samba.
Okay.
Okay, it's the main ostinato that really needs to be absorbed. So, that being what? This. If that's memorized, you're good to go. Then you can play all sorts of stuff with your left. So that is not what's written there, but it's still a samba. Okay? I take my liberties, but that's still a samba, right? That's the bottom line. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So let's start by playing again the right hand and the right foot. And then we'll add one snare drum at a time. Yeah. That's it. Bum bum, bum bum, bum bum, bum bum, bum bum. That's the samba. All right. Now we'll add the first note. It's the same as the bossa nova. Snare drum on the one. So yeah. Before we do that, actually, let's play just this. What we just did. But this time along to music. Just that. Your eyebrows went really high. What happened? Why is that? It is fine. How fast do you think you were playing, by the way? I'm curious as to what the, perspective, I guess. I want to see your perspective. How fast do you think that was? $110. And so is the song, so $110. And that's why it needs to be, all these ideas need to be practiced to music. When we don't practice along to music, we never really get to see how the rhythm works in real life, in real world. It's always in our own just little world. Always to music. Always to music. Even if it's just like, let's say, I'm going to digress now away from the bossa nova and whatnot. Let's say you're just working on singles. Why on earth wouldn't we be practicing singles to music? Why on earth shouldn't we? We'll do that today a little bit off topic. I'll show you how to do that. So, back to the samba. We only have 5 minutes. These sessions are too short. We only have 5 minutes left. Okay. Yeah. Okay, then we've got all those left hand notes, right? You have snare drum on the 1, snare drum on the 2, snare drum on the end of 3, snare drum on the end of 4. So we see that there's on beat, off beat, off beat. And then off beat, off, on beat. So on, off, on. Right? Again, syncopated as hell, right? It means that the pattern that you find in the first half of the bar is different from the pattern that you find in the second half of the bar. Okay? That's literally all it means. When you divide the bar in half, if you see the same pattern on both halves, then it's not syncopated. If they change, that's syncopation. Which they clearly do, right? That doesn't matter, that's a different bar. So if it repeats like in the second bar, that doesn't matter. It's within the bar. Okay? So clearly quite a syncopated groove. So we've got the whole thing all put together. So I'll start with just the right hand and the right foot. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2. So I'll play the left hand now. Okay. Now at samba speed, we're looking more at something like this. Sorry. It's fast. Okay. Anyway. Speed is not the focus here, but you get the point. It's like samba. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. That's the samba. All right. It's obvious that we'll need to leave the Partido Alto for next Sunday. There's not enough time. We are already over time.